All right, everybody, thank you so much for joining me. So for today's movement tutorial, we're going to take you through a little bit of a strength and mobility routine. I'm going to take a decent portion of what we did at last Wednesday's class and again put it into a little flow. All right, so I'll introduce the work, I'll show you one round, and I'll recommend the proper reps and sets that you can kind of repeat and do on your own at home. But all we need today is a yoga block, but we technically don't really need one. If you have a yoga block, it'd be great. Put one close by. Again, if you don't have one, we'll be okay without it. All right, we're going to start first with a quick wrist prep. So we'll invert the fingertips back towards us, and if you have a little bit, again, more time at home, I always suggest doing more wrist things on your own. So we'll see if we can just gently rock back, getting a nice stretch in the wrists, maybe even throughout the forearms. Then as you rock back, you can press your fingertips down. As a result, that's going to pull your shoulders back over top of your hands. And we'll do that 2 more times. We'll rock back, get a nice stretch in the forearms. And once again, we're going to try to press the fingertips down into the mat, pulling the shoulders forward. We'll take that 1 more time. See if you can rock back, trying to keep the base of the palm down. Maybe it lifts a little bit, almost like we can slide a piece of paper underneath the base of the palm, but trying to keep it down relatively flat. And then let's take a quick little shake out of the hands and wrists. You can make a fist and some circles, or literally shake them, maybe pushing back in different directions. Get a nice stretch again. Make sure to prep the wrists at least a little bit. We'll come back to tabletop position here, and notice I'm going to bring my hands wide and I'm going to fan them out. We're going to try a few shoulder rolls. So not just going up and down with the scap, not protraction and retraction, but we're going to try to actually roll the shoulder. So see if you can make a circle shape with the shoulders. We'll do about 10 in one direction, 10 in the other. And again, just try to get as much movement out of the shoulders as you can, moving the scapula and really moving the arm, the humerus, inside the glenohumeral joints. Let's reverse those circles. So again, just big circles with the shoulders. I'll take 3 more. 1, 2, 3. All right, shake out hands, maybe the shoulders a little bit more. If you want to roll the neck a little left and right as well. Get nice and loose. All right, so the first thing that we're going to give a shot, we're going to take side plank. And I'm going to ask you, if you notice here, we have this piece of tape here. If you have a yoga mat and that's what you're using at home, we do want something that has a line on it. All right, so I'll bring my palm just behind the line. I'm going to use the tape. Yeah, we'll use the tape for today. So I'm going to take the side plank position, seeing if you can just hold here. And then definitely just go to where you can. We're going to try 10 taps. So the left foot is going to reach as far close to that line as it can. And then I'm going to try to tap as far behind as I can. So I'm reaching towards that tape. And again, it's where that hand is. And I'm trying to move my left foot and get as close to there as I can. Oop, that's 6. We're going to try 4 more. Reach up and tap. Notice the left arm is used to counterbalance. We'll do 1 more here in front. That's 9. And try to get as close to that line. 10. Left palm comes down. We'll shift the weight. I'll give you a moment to catch up at home. Again, this time we're going to reach, the left hand is down. The right foot is going to reach as close to that line as we can get it. So we'll reach up. We're going to try 10 total. Again, the left arm should be used to help you counterbalance. We're just getting as close to that line as you can wherever it is. And if you have to stop at 5 or 4, take a break, it's fine. Otherwise, there's 7. Reach back. There's 8. There's 9. Last one. 10. Whoo-wee. All right, drop down to the knees. Let's chill out for a moment, take a little break. All right, so 10 repetitions on right arm and on left arm. Side plank, reaching the top foot as close to the line as you can in front of you, reaching the top foot as close to that line as you can behind you. The top arm is used to counterbalance. Give those a shot. 10 on right arm, 10 on left arm, and then take a break. If you have this yoga block, we'll bring the block now close by. And I think for the setup, what if I show in this direction? And I'm going to place the yoga block right here by my side. I'm going to lay on my left side of my body. I'm going to place the right knee right underneath here of that, or right on top rather of that yoga block. And my left hand can be used to hold the right knee down so that the right knee does not leave the yoga block the entire time. I would say that is key. You'll see why in a moment. Hand holds the knee onto the yoga block. My left leg is straight, not bent. We're not kind of on like an angle pointing this way. We want to press the leg straight. Right hand behind the back of the head. See if you can exhale and begin to rotate your upper body down towards the floor. We're trying to get the right elbow and right shoulder blade as close to the floor as you can. Maybe it even touches. You're pressing the right shoulder blade and elbow down. 3 to 5 seconds. And then release by pointing your right elbow up towards the ceiling for a moment. And then exhale and twist. Try to get your right shoulder blade and right elbow as close to the floor as you can. And you're constantly pushing the right elbow, right shoulder blade down. Release, elbow points up. Exhale, twist. We have 10 of these to go through. Right shoulder blade presses down. Now only, listen closely, only if your knee stays on the block and you can get your right elbow and right shoulder blade to easily touch the floor each time, then I would recommend getting rid of the yoga block. The knee now has to stay down on the floor, and then we would exhale, and you have about, well, the height of the block, about 3 or 4 more inches to where you try to rotate your right shoulder and elbow down. Pause for 3 to 5 seconds. And then elbow points up. Exhale, twist down towards the floor. Again, 3 to 5 seconds. Let's see if we can take 2 or 3 more here. Again, we're looking to do about 10 total. You might feel some opening in the right side of the chest. And you might feel like your right scap wants to cramp up a little bit. That's okay. How about we take 1 more? We're going to rotate and twist. Right shoulder blade, right elbow presses down for 3. Twist. 2. And then on 1, let's release. Now you're going to see it from another angle. I'll come back to the center. And I'm going to now roll on to the right side of my body. If you want to place that yoga block down, you can place it underneath the left knee. If you touched easily the last time, only then would I recommend the knee being on the ground. And I'm going to use the right hand to hold the knee down. I want the knee to stay in contact with the floor the entire time. Left palm behind the back of the head. See if you can begin to twist. Ease into your first few. Rotate left elbow, left shoulder blade down. It's about, again, 3 to 5 seconds. We'll release. So again, making sure this right leg is straight and strong, pressing the heel away. I'm twisting, twisting, twisting. And I'm making sure my left knee doesn't pop up. See, this is important here. I want this knee down all the time. And we'll take another one here, another rep. Just keep moving through as I talk. We want the knee to stay down all the time in the exact same space. A, it means we're not cheating. And B, it gives us a point that is always the same in this exercise so that we can track our progress by seeing how close the left elbow and shoulder blade get to the floor. If the knee is sometimes 1 inch or 2 inches or 3 inches or sometimes it's on the floor, well then where the left elbow is really is irrelevant, right? Because how much we're twisting is all over the place. So we want one thing to be the same. Try to keep the knee down the same height the whole time, and then track your progress by how close left elbow and blade are getting down. Let's take 2 more. I think this is about 10. Maybe it's like 8 or 9, but I think we're close. Twist, twist, twist. And we'll take 1 more. Elbow points up. Exhale and twist. Even while twisting, you can think about puffing up the chest or the sternum. So if I were to put my pointer finger on your sternum, it's almost like while you twist, still keep the left elbow as the focus, but you could push your sternum into my finger as you're twisting, so the chest might puff up a little bit. Again, we're trying to promote thoracic extension as well as many other things. All right, let's release and carefully come out of that one. All right, ease yourself back into things here. I call that one the T-spine twist. Not that I call it, but it is called the T-spine twist. This is one of my favorite ones, and I will tell this story from time to time. Is when I first came out of high school and college, very, very, very tight in the chest from so many years of just bench pressing, doing so many push-ups, and always just, again, working chest muscles without ever stretching the upper body, without ever hanging or doing any yoga, anything like this. So I got super, super tight in the chest, and obviously over time it affected my posture. So this is one of the drills that I did for almost like a year straight. I did this consistently a few times a week for an entire year. It did wonders to start this process of opening up my chest up and making me feel, again, like I had a little bit more upright and not so tight in the pecs and the chest so that I was being pulled in. Again, trying to really open up. So that's a fantastic one. We did 10 on the right, 10 on the left. Please do more of those on your own at home. And then the final thing that we can work on. Now, please take a second set. I thought those side planks with the straight arm, reaching in front and reaching behind, were very, very challenging. If you would like to give that another shot, please feel free, especially if that was hard enough. There is a more challenging version, however, I would say, and that is with 2 bent arms. And then we would try the exact same thing, but with bent arms. So I would start in a plank position, lower down to a low plank, and then my left foot reaches to the top of the mat. My left foot reaches to that line as well. So again, it's bent arms. I'm taking the same approach, but now obviously my right arm will get a lot more of the work. And then we would rotate left. And then the opposite foot would do the reaching. So again, same approach as we took last time. Bent arms, making it much, much more challenging. And we want to try to hover the whole time. With bent arms, we'll try 10 total. Flip directions, we'll try 10 taps total. Again, at all these, you can just press pause, do the work, come back, see what we have next on tap. If all of those versions are too tricky, we could show you this one. 2 arms down, and then just pivoting, tapping here, trying to tap in front. So another fun variation. So there's about 3 variations that we took. Find the one that works for you. See if you can work it 10 sets. It should be quite challenging. So by your 10th 10 repetitions, I'm sorry. So by your 10th repetition, it should be quite fatiguing. We get to switch the arms or switch out the legs and give them a shot. All right, so that's our prep work. We did some wrists, did some shoulders. We took that side plank. We opened up the T-spine a little bit. I would recommend 2 rounds, 2 full sets, 2 full rounds of that work. Okay, moving on. I'm going to show you a round of wall slides. All right. I feel like, too, if you just listen closely to the cues, you'll figure it out. It could take a side video shot, but I don't think we'll really need it. Also for something a little bit later on in class as well. So one thing about me is I love when things look incredibly, incredibly easy, but are incredibly, incredibly challenging. All right, so this is, I would say, is one of those. And again, a lot of this stuff is working shoulders and helping to open up the T-spine, open up the torso and the chest. So we would bring our feet off of the wall. Don't try to perform this. You can. It's even harder with your feet super, super strict onto the wall. You can bring your feet off and you can have bent knees. Now, however, we are trying to get as much of the spine flat to the wall as we can. Now, we're doing the best we can. All right? Probably, as we move through here, hands, limbs, elbows, you might flare the rib cage. We're working towards trying to have everything pressing back against the wall. I can't stress this enough. Do the best you can. Things are going to probably come off the wall. It's okay. Just do the best you can to keep everything on the wall. Option 1, a little less challenging, the Snow Angel version. Press your spine into the wall. Head can be on the wall as well. We'll have 2 areas of the spine that's probably off the wall. The mid-back, it's the natural curvature area, so the lumbar area, kind of like between low and mid-back, and then where the neck is, there'll be some space there as well. But again, I'm trying to press into the wall. I'll bring 2 straight arms by my side, and pressing my back of my palms into the wall, I'm going to see if I can bring the arms overhead as much as I can. And as soon as I bring the arms overhead, my rib cage wants to flare out. Try to keep your tailbone tucked and keep your ribs down as best as you can. And then with 2 straight arms, we're going to press back into the wall, engaging all the muscles behind the shoulders, all those back, or what I like to call posture muscles. So again, 2 straight arms, pressing into the wall overhead, and then slowly coming down. Now, if you could achieve that, considerably more challenging is to bring 2 immediately. That's all I have to do is just start it. As soon as I try to bring cactus arms against the wall, even more so the rib cage wants to flare. Try to pull the rib cage down. When we bring arms overhead, it's really, really going to want to do it. Again, we're aiming to do the best we can. If it happens, it happens. Try to pull the ribs down. So I'm going to cactus the arms. Again, this is the more challenging variation. Pressing everything into the wall. I'll try and bring the arms overhead. Maybe they can even come close together. And then I'm going to press everything into the wall, and come all the way down. 1. Press into the wall. Press into the wall. Whoo. And bring it all the way down. 2. All right. Wall slides. Again, option 1, straight arms like a snow angel. Option 2, cactus arms, bringing them overhead, bringing everything down. The goal, the aim, is to keep the rib cage down and try and keep everything pressing onto the wall as best as you can. It is challenging. Again, do the best you can. 10 repetitions, slow and smooth. If you like to press pause, give them a shot. Go do the thing. All right? So, after a round of those wall slides, we're going to kind of go back a while back. There was a tutorial we did on the QDR and how to slowly kind of build yourself into the QDR. So I will go through this as a review. If this interests you and maybe you've been working on that QDR, but if you want, please go back to that tutorial where we broke down in depth the QDR, and that was the whole entire tutorial just on the QDR. I believe it was a ways back, so maybe like May or June. But otherwise, we're going to try 10 QDR push-ups as some strength work. So from the crawl position, not necessarily plank, but from the crawl, I'm going to bend my knees. I'm going to pivot the feet, and I'm going to see if I can bend my elbow so that it goes onto the hip. Look over left shoulder here for a moment, and then see if you can press yourself back up using more of the right arm. Feet come back down. Heels now pivot left. Bend left elbow. Try to get it into the hip, the pelvis bone, and then press yourself up. The feet and the heels pivot back. That would be 2. We'll do 2 more, show you a few times. Press up. So the main goal here is to see if when you bend, you can get elbow into hip. It's this bone. It's the bone right here, the hip bone. We want to try to rest the elbow on the bone. It takes time to get comfortable with that. It takes time to get used to it. It takes time to get the mobility to find that resting spot. Hopefully with these push-ups, two things occur. We get stronger in that awkward, interesting position on one arm versus the two of them. So the one arm will take more of the weight. And hopefully through this process, you'll get more comfortable with getting the elbow, and really it's where the kind of like the elbow and the tricep tendon meet, getting that on the proper hip bone. And again, it's right below where this bone sticks out. I believe it's the iliac crest right here. We want to try and get the hip there, the elbow there. So give those a shot. I'll show you from another direction. There's more weight in my right arm right now. Press up. My left arm takes more of the weight as I look over the right shoulder. Press up. Pivot back. We'll try 10 total. 5 right, 5 left. Please take breaks in between. That should be challenging stuff, not easy. All right. There's one other thing as well that we'll take a look at, and that is wall squats. All right. So, yes, if you have a passive squat, good stuff. When we bring the arms overhead, it really challenges the hips, the shoulders immensely. So this type of squat where we use the wall will help to promote thoracic extension, ankle mobility, quite a few things. And again, we'll show it to you from this angle. I feel like if you just listen to the cues, you'll be able to kind of understand. But pretty straightforward. We're just going to squat with the wall in front of us. And again, seems like, okay, I'm used to squatting. Considerably more challenging. So first, I'm going to come, I would say I'm about 8 inches or so away from the wall. And I'm really going to have the knees opening up as I squat down. And I'm going to try to bring the arms overhead. All right? So I'll bring the arms overhead. I'm going to see if I can slowly squat down without falling backwards. All right, so pretty good distance. And I can come all the way back up. All right, that was somewhat challenging, but I was able to do it. So right now, I'm about 8 inches or so from the wall. I'm going to scoot up a little bit. So now I'm about 7.5 or so, 7 inches maybe from the wall. I'm going to try the same thing. And I'm going to continue this process until I find a distance that is quite challenging for me to comfortably go up and down. I'm going to get a little bit closer. I'm probably now about 4 inches from the wall. I'm going down into my normal passive squat. Arms are overhead, palms are on the wall. And try to keep the arms over shoulders. Squatting it down. And again, pressing back up. So I think I can go a little bit closer to the wall. All right, now I think I'm getting to my point. So I'm probably about, just maybe 2.5, 3 inches off the wall. And I'm really going to have to extend my torso, my rib cage, my sternum forward. Let's see what happens. Going to lower down. The knees are opening. So really challenging now my mid-back muscles, and I'll come all the way up. So maybe we can get one last scoot to the wall. This is going to be a tough one, and try not to fall back. I am probably less than an inch, within an inch from the wall. And we'll try one last time. Again, the knees open. The microphone's rubbing against the wall. All right, so now this is really challenging. My thoracic extension. I'm trying not to fall backwards. Press up, press up, press up, press up. Whew, all right, so I found a distance that worked for me. All right, it took 3 or 4 shots. And then I found that, again, about an inch or so distance from the wall. With my arms overhead. Again, it really challenges overhead mobility. So in essence, this is what's happening. The wall's in front of me, and I don't have this luxury in my squat. The wall is there, so it forces me to stay really tall and upright. And again, really, really tall and upright. So I have to try and keep my shoulders back, which challenges big time mid-back. Tricky, tricky stuff bringing the arms overhead. Now it can definitely be performed with a dowel overhead, but if you use the wall, it forces your body so that you can't have the dowel going forward. The wall's there. All right. So if you want to give that a shot for the wall squats, please feel free. And last thing I will say too is if you are again interested in where you can advance and take that QDR work, please check out the QDR video. I believe again it is from maybe June or July. It's in there. It's labeled, I believe, QDR static holds, and that explains the QDR a bit more, a lot more in depth as well. All right. Now, as far as these three things that we did here, the wall slides, 10 QDR push-ups, and then 10 wall squats up and down. See if you can move through those 3 sets. That's the protocol, the kind of that we gave for these exercises. It was 2 rounds of the first 3 things we did, and it's 3 rounds of these 3 things that we did. I feel like this is a really, really nice mobility routine. It will strengthen the body, open us up. Fun, good stuff. And again, this idea of thoracic extension, healthy shoulders. Hopefully it's all in there. I hope you like this one. If you have questions or comments, please feel free to reach out. Let us know. Wednesday evening, 6 to 7:30. We're doing the thing in here as far as the movement class goes, and it is similar. Again, this gives you like a little bit of a taste. We do go more in depth, and then we also end with an optional half hour of open gym where we'll teach some arm balancing or some pull work. Just depends. So if you have any questions or comments, please feel free to reach out. Otherwise, 2 sets of the first exercises that we did, 3 full sets of what we just showed you here with these 3. Questions or comments, reach out. Otherwise, get after it, guys. All right? Have a wonderful, wonderful day, week, wherever it is that you're performing these questions. Reach out. Otherwise, solid work. Let's get after it. Later.